Hi guys, I'm Naddafi.
Hi, mate!
So I don't know really how to follow up that intro, so I hope you guys are ready to laugh somewhat. If not, I hope cruel disappointment will appease you guys in some sort of way. This is actually my first time doing stand-up in some way, shape, and form, and I'm honored to have a room full of people while you guys pop my cherry. It is very similar to the actual time it happened, mainly because it's just as awkward for me. And thank you guys for being there with me. So, growing up, I really had trouble learning very basic things, such as how to apologize or how to make right for something doing wrong. And this goes back to a very prior experience when I was about 6 or 8. It's kind of hazy. You know how memory works. You guys are all kids one day. I was cleaning dishes with my family, and I don't know why, for some reason, I thought it was a good idea to have a 6-year-old there. Because what am I going to do? I'm just going to cause a mess. I'm just going to break some shit. And that's exactly what happened. I got a plate. I'm like, ooh, I'm gonna go save the day. I'm gonna go put this in the pantry. I'm gonna do it in like 3 times more time than it would take for them to do it. Perfect. Ends up breaking. I've never seen a plate shatter into that many pieces, and I'm still impressed by that to this day. And my parents look at me, and they're just like, what the fuck did you do? Why would you do this? Well, we taught you right. And I look at them deadpan, and I just say, oops, I did that on purpose. And looking at them, trying to having conflicting emotions between, do we punish him or do we just laugh? I saw tears being held back from how hard they were just like, we gotta do this right, we gotta do this right. Anyways, I just get sent to my room and I hear them laughing in the other room, and I'm just like, I got away with it. That went on for about like the rest of my life. So I kind of have a problem when it comes to talking with people, mainly because my tone ends up coming off as somewhat sarcastic. I don't understand why people would say that. And I gotta say, I sometimes feel like I milk it in some ways, because no matter what, people always think I'm joking in some capacity. So I can just be like, hey, that shirt looks like shit. And they're just like, Matt, man, he's always... He knows. There's no way he could actually mean that. Little do they know. Anyways, segues are really weird, transitions from one joke to another, and like, speaking of segues, I fucking hate hoverboards. They are one of the worst inventions I've ever seen in my life. Mainly because it's almost as if they're constantly looking down at you while they're on the hoverboard, because they're about like, a foot higher than they are normally. And like, it's just an arrogance and pompous thing that it just gets into my own head. And I know that if I was behind closed doors, I would have the time of my life on one of those things. But anytime you see one in public, it's just like, that guy's a fucking prick. I'm cleaning out my friends list. I know that he's not going to be anywhere near it. I can't have that. It just comes down to them looking like they're doing a shitty Michael Jackson impersonation every time they're on their hoverboard, just like slowly leaning forward. I really enjoy watching movies, and one of the things that really gets me about movies is I get really involved into it, and I'm just like, what if I was in that position? Like, how would I do it? What would I do? And it comes down to like watching, say, something like a kung fu movie. Like, you watch a Bruce Lee joint, you get out of there, and you're just like, can't wait for one motherfucker to come my way. I can't. Just fucking try me. And I feel like that's bullshit, because there's no way I can learn the dragon martial arts by just watching Bruce Lee kick 1,000 times. But in my warped persona, I believe that. And this really doesn't do me any favors, especially for crime movies, because in my head, I can be the capo of the fucking mafia and everything would run perfectly fine. And that realization came to a grueling halt as soon as I went to Pizza Hut one day. You may be saying, why does Pizza Hut and crime coexist like that? Well, anyone that ordered to carry out pizza can attest to the drug deal transaction you need to go to every time you go to a Pizza Hut. Essentially, you go in there, you're just like, hey, I ordered a pizza for Anne Frank a while ago. Like, can you open this up for me? They open up their pizza as if they got the goods. And me, being the anxious person I am, I don't know how to react to that, so I essentially throw my debit card at the cashier's face. It's like, take my money, I don't even care what kind of pizza it is, I just don't want to be a part of this, it's a bad deal, it's a bad deal. So my crime career went down the tubes in a matter of $20 or so. The joke's around here, so. Sometimes my mind wanders and I really get to thinking about really dumb shit. I'll explain. So people always think about like the greatest superpowers to have, like I want to be super fast, I want to be super strong, I want to fly. For me, I want to think about what kind of superpower can you have that is less intrusive but still lets you get a good amount of information out of a person. For instance, my superpower, if I could have a choice, would be the ability to read the last 10 Google searches that a person had, no matter what. You can learn so much more from that than you could if you were running super fast. I know for sure I'm going to be hanging out with the person that Googled butt chugging and other stuff rather than the person who's Googling Donald Trump for president or something along those lines. So being an awkward human being, I sometimes get super, I go to songs at times and I want to think about like what songs make me happy, what songs make me go, like get me out of like whatever situation I'm in. About 7 months into a relationship, I got invited to a funeral. This is the first time I've ever been to a funeral because thankfully no one in my family has passed away. And little did I know, death makes me exponentially more weird. So, 6-7 months into a relationship is kind of a big deal. Like, that's when you start like getting all like lovey-dovey, whatever, and bullshit. So, I go into the procession, or however you say it. I'm sitting in the front row, and my girlfriend at the time is looking, she's sad, her aunt just passed away. Like, of course you're gonna be sad. So, it's quiet. They just said like a beautiful service. Their father just said something, and like it's quiet. I'm in the front, and like, you know the song by Young Jeezy, R.I.P. So I just started like nervously, just like, R.I.P. R.I.P. The look on her face as she looked at me was almost as if I was gonna burn at the cross right then and there, and it has stuck with me forever. So, that's all I have for tonight. Thank you guys very much for coming out.